I'd always found cemeteries a bit odd. They housed the dead, but the dead didn't need them. The dead didn't need anything. The very existence of graves, of coffins, felt like a living riddle. What was made for the deceased but comforted the living? A silk-lined box. It sounded like something one of the Evers would say, and while I had no desire to get involved with them, it was hard not to respect the power behind their words. Or maybe I was drawn to the quiet graves because of the abundance of mugwort. That seemed far more likely. Crouching before the nearest crumbling headstone, I drove my fingers into the soft dirt and uprooted the sage-green plant, minding the tiny white hairs covering the leaves. I tucked it into the overflowing burlap sack hanging from my hip and stood, brushing my hands along the fabric of my fitted pants. Most ladies of marriageable age favoured satin skirts and low necklines, sumptuous frills and elegant lace trimmings. Perhaps if my station had been different, I would have too. I had nothing against the artful construction of whalebone and ribbon, but when one rummaged through the dirt as often as I did, it was tiresome to change skirts frequently enough to remain presentable. Plus, those ladies had families and coin that afforded them lazy afternoons, sipping tea over gossip, whereas I did not. I would likely be ploughing through earth right up to my final days, and I'd probably dig that grave too. And even yet, that fate seemed preferable to the alternative, spending time with Willowfell's elite for the chance of a marriage that would save me from my work. I'd rather work for myself than work to be someone else's version of suitable. River birch trees clambered against the moss-covered stone wall, rimming the graveyard, and I lingered in their shade a moment longer before navigating the path toward the flower-studded meadow. The spring air was thick, with the scent of fresh linens, as the townsfolk strung up damp sheets and garments to take advantage of the cloud-free sky. I cut a glance toward the mid-afternoon sun. There were only a few hours left until my brothers returned from the nearby mines, and I was eager to brew a few tonics for tomorrow's market before they commandeered the kitchen. Taking the right fork around a small hill, I came across the first crop of houses, marking the edge of Willowfell. The quaint homes rimming the outskirts of town looked largely the same. The pearl-coloured bricks were fashioned from stone found at the base of our closest mountain, and the hipped roofs were a dark shade of ivy, to match the surrounding canopy of leaves. But perhaps the most unique custom of Willowfell was the construction of its doors. It was tradition for families to decorate them however they deemed fit. The chatelain's door was a mosaic masterpiece depicting a romantic embrace. Laszlo and his husband opted for a circular entrance with half-moon windows burrowed into the rich wood. The hafters was covered in iron handles. Our door, though, was my favourite. The facade itself was simple, but the surrounding frame was something else entirely. Even now, as I passed by our neighbours' homes and found myself standing before my father's handiwork, I couldn't help but marvel at the intricate details.